Hey there, it's Carolyn. In today's Kira Studios video, I want to show you my way of drawing gestures when I go figure drawing, and I'm going to break down 3 versions that you can practice on your own. Now, before we dive in, let's get clear on what gestures are. They are the most reduced down version of any given pose that you might see in front of you. Yet, when you have it on your page, it still communicates clearly what the model was up to. Now, capturing a gesture can happen in a very brief amount of time, which doesn't mean that they have to be hectically scribbled. The other thing about gestures is that there is a broad range between very expressive gestures that have a signature style that the artist has developed and gestures that look a little bit more generic and mechanical. What you have to decide is, what is your purpose for the gesture? Is it to find your own style, your own voice, your own signature, or is it a utilitarian need that you have? So depending on what your needs are, you might pick a different approach to your gestures. So let me now show you 3 different ways of capturing gestures that might suit your needs. Let's dive in. So let me first show you how I draw gestures. What you'll see me do is combine drawing rhythms, detailed contours, a light-dark variation of my line weight, and every once in a while a little bit of volume. When I draw, I tend to use both the side and the tip of my pencil, giving me broad, soft marks and thin accented marks. So let's look at 3 ways that you can practice gesture drawing. The first method is solely focusing on the rhythms that you can notice within the pose. When you draw your gesture like that, I want you to get away from thinking about drawing body parts. The lines that I'm drawing here are not necessarily lines you see on the body. They are visual connections my eye creates, or my brain rather creates. In the second method, you focus on shape instead of linear rhythms. So I will look at the silhouette in its most simple way and very simplified directions for the limbs. So again, rather than thinking in terms of rhythmic lines, I am focusing on simplified shapes. And for that, I will use mainly the side of my pencil to get that shape blocked in fairly broadly. So here I'm even massing it in so my brain doesn't switch into linear mode but stays on shape-based mode. So it's kind of like you squint your eyes and you only see the silhouette. You use the side of your pencil and you get really good at blocking that silhouette in. And the third method is more of a mechanical method where you focus on the major parts that make up the body, the rib cage, the pelvis, and then the skeleton holding up those 2 pieces. And oh, I guess I shouldn't forget the head. The 3 big masses are head, rib cage, and pelvis, and then the skeleton holding up those 3 parts. For that, you also need to focus on the spine and some landmarks to orient those ribcage pelvis masses. So when I draw my own gestures, I combine all of these 3 methods into one. And again, because my goal is to have my own signature, to see my own voice in my drawing, as well as capture clearly what it is that I'm seeing. So what I recommend for you is that you get clear on where you are in your development. If you're struggling with proportions, practice any of those 3 versions over and over again, just clearly separating out the whole style component. If you're strong in capturing proportions and the action of the pose and they feel like they're grounded well, they don't fall over, then it would be time to start focusing on finding your own expressive signature, and by focusing more on details and on how you make your marks. So be clear on where you're at in your development. Don't lie to yourself about that. Practice what you need to get better in, and then over time, as you strengthen your weaknesses, you will live your way into your own expressive signature style. I hope this was useful. Next time we'll talk about more figure related things. I'll see you then. Take care.